Next up, we have one of the most hotly contested categories every year since we came up with it, and that is the Goodest Boy Award, formerly known as the Best Dog Wearing an Accessory Award. Our previous winners in 2017, Mario Odyssey's Dog in a Cowboy Hat. In 2018, Minit, Dog with an Eyepatch. And last year, we had Yamper from Pokemon Sword and Shield. This is one of the most stacked previous winners lists of all. And we're joining that esteemed company this year will be one of the following: Bear-chan from Paradise Killer, Pet Dog from Minecraft Dungeons, the Backpack Cat from Spider-Man Miles Morales, Chain Chomp from Paper Mario The Origami King, Cerberus from Hades, the Eagle from the Pathless, Alice from The Last of Us Part 2, and Camus from Cloudpunk. Going first, according to the Wheel of Fate, will be... Dun, 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 Mark Robinson.
This is stacked. This is. Yeah. I'm very happy that this has become a legitimate category, after being a off the cuff sort of joke a couple of years ago. So I'm very
invented just to pop Jack.
I'm very happy. Not only that, but also we have a stacked list of contenders this year, and we've also evolved just past having dogs as well. The video game industry clearly steering in the direction based off of our show.
More than ever in 2020, diversity is important, Mark. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm going to start off the proceedings by taking off Pet Dog because I nominated it, and I don't remember a single thing other than the fact it was the first game I played this year that had a dog, and so I immediately went and put this up for nomination. But past that, I don't remember a thing. I don't really remember a thing about that game in general, so Pet Dog, off you come.
I'll tell you, it was not that there is such a thing as a not memorable dog, but it was the hardest one to find any images of for our poll by some distance.
Oh, good sign.
So it's probably the one I would have gone for first. Barry, you're next.
So now I have seen this one, but I haven't really seen them do much of anything. Is there a scene later in Paper Mario where Chain Chomp does something other than eat a bone?
No. Chain Chomp is basically there to act as an obstacle or path in your way.
Yeah.
That you need to get him out of the way. I think there's more to it than that, but it's not that much more evolved than Chain Chomp in Link's Awakening. So it's more just the fact that they have categorized Chain Chomp as a dog. And I will never
that is
funny.
You have to do a fetch quest to get a bone to distract it, which I did appreciate. Yes. That was funny.
But yeah,
but I don't think
nothing more past that. But again, I feel it's a worthy while nomination. Chain Chomp can come off.
I feel like I should have done my history here, but I know Mario 64, the big Chain Chomp on the very first level, you get the dog bark noises with that. How long have they acknowledged Chain Chomp to be a dog? I feel like Mario 64 was the first Chain Chomp.
That's the first I can recall.
Yeah.
Link's Awakening would be before that. So I think Link's Awakening would be the first kind of hey, here's Chain Chomp, and we're sort of treating it like a dog. Yeah. Because you basically have Chain Chomp on a lead, and he clears out a path for you to get to the next dungeon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And is it canon that in the world of Mario that all dogs are replaced with Chain Chomps?
My Mario lore is not strong as that to know.
And then when there is a dog, because there are some dogs, the
dog in a cowboy hat. Come on now.
I mean, the dog in a cowboy hat.
Yeah, dog in a cowboy hat, and the dog in Mario Maker as well. What are they taking the role of in that universe?
Dog, yeah. I love that his head is in a block. I really wanted him to win last year, but it was just Yamper's year. What can I say?
Yeah. So Jack's going to go away and do the research, and for the 2021 edition, he's going to wow us with the history of dogs in Mario.
Is there going to be a Mario game next year? I don't know. That would have a dog in it, maybe.
Oh, let's find out. Right, I'm next. I have a feeling I know what's going to be the final couple here. So, by virtue of the fact that it's one of the two games I haven't played or seen a lot of on this list, I'm going to go for Camus in Cloudpunk.
Oh. Camus is the only thing about Cloudpunk that I would argue in favor Cloudpunk is a nice little game. It's not anything incredibly memorable. Basically, so Cloudpunk is like a sort of dystopian future driving / like adventure game. It's kind of you're a freighter doing basically fetch quests, delivering things all over this Blade Runner style city.
That sounds oddly familiar.
Yeah, you know, I don't want to say it was a big hyped up game during the year. It was chatted about for a little bit. It was not
anyone T-posing in that game.
No. This one actually
No
works.
refunds on it.
I see.
No. In fact, I was almost considering buying it twice because I would like to play, I would like to play it on something other than the PC. But anyway, and so you're playing a very kind of typical protagonist down on their luck, ferrying about freight for this shitty company, and you're so down on your luck that your dog has passed on, but because it's the future, it's the cyberpunk future, you have your dog's memory and personality on a chip. And so that is then installed into your car in one of the early missions. And so that is your kind of quest buddy or your party member for the game, is your car that has your dog's personality and memories and talks to you. And the dog, it's not a one-to-one comparison, but the dog's personality is somewhat akin to Doug from the Pixar movie Up.
Oh, nice.
It's got a very similar kind of voice. And it's a very kind of, I don't know if we should go there, that seems scary type dog, simple one-track mind. It's very, very, very charming. And it's kind of like your one companion in this very dry, cynical world. I like Camus a lot. I would actually maybe think about keeping Camus on this list maybe a little bit longer. I like Camus a lot.
Okay, well then I'm just going to upset Mark then. With the second swing here and say the eagle from the Pathless.
See, the eagle is like a very strong integral part of the Pathless. So the eagle kind of acts as your companion, and throughout the world of the Pathless, the eagle is there to like help with puzzles. There are like weights that the eagle can pick up and move around and place on different kind of platforms that or switches to open gates and stuff like that. The kind of main crucial function of the eagle is that you use the eagle to kind of glide around. So you're thinking kind of Breath of the Wild, like you'll climb up to the top of a tower, you'll look and you see, okay, I want to get over there. You'll jump off and then you'll use the eagle to glide along. But you can also use to get to sort of higher elevated planes. And the eagle is really like an integral part of traveling around. He first kind of takes the form of a kind of giant winged beast that in the first kind of like 5-10 minutes of the game before, for reasons that I won't go into, becomes, like a kind of standard sized eagle. And he, he's a core integral part of the game, and he's a very good boy. And you have like a feature where, so there are these, best way to describe it, like these parts of the game that are quite dangerous to go into, and you can see that the eagle is like being singed or at least hurt out and harmed. And once you've saved the eagle from that area and you come out of it, your character, you press X and you go to like a close up, and the eagle is perched on your arm, and you basically take your hand and you rub it over the eagle to kind of remove the heat damage, whatever you want to call it. And then once you've cleared that, the eagle kind of nuzzles up to you, resting its head on you, and it's a very kind of tender moment. I really like the eagle. I think that there's a genuine kind of a bonding that happens between your character and the eagle, and compared to like some of the others on this list, it is purely for the fact that, like, depending on how you want to approach this list, purely in terms of an animal that is like an integral part of the actual game and the gameplay, compared to some of these which are just more, I don't know if you want to say like meme worthy, or just like the fact that they're there and what they represent. I don't know. The eagle is a very, very good boy, and I would have some resistance to having the eagle thrown off at this point.
Well, I don't know what you motherfuckers want me to do then. I know all dogs are good and all boys are good here, but like we have to eliminate something. So unless someone wants to volunteer something to be cut,
I don't think Alice would win. There's two good boys and girls in Last of Us 2. Alice is the discourse dog. She's the one that you kill as Ellie, and then you as Abby, you then like get to know Alice pre-death. She has some cool scenes where she mauls some dudes in protection of you, but unfortunately it's not as good as Dead to Rights, which means you cannot manually control her to maul people, which is a shame. But yeah, she probably won't win, but rest in peace, Alice.
I mean, this game is so bleak, man. Oh dear.
damn
Is this
straight.
the first nominee we've had that has died in a game? I think it probably is. So yeah, pour one out for Alice.
You're up next, Jack.
Oh Christ. This is difficult, right?
Yeah. Tell me about it, Jack.
I
Nearly got attacked twice trying to take mine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like birds, so I would happily take the eagle off. I'm not like, but it sounds integral to the game, so it sounds important, I suppose.
I mean, I have like two
I was gonna say.
standouts for me, and if the eagle is gonna take another punting, then I'm not gonna sit here all night over.
Just to be clear, I'm not actually trying to kick an actual eagle.
Now, if you told me that eagle was Sam Eagle from the Muppets, I'm all in backing you on this.
There's
Mark,
probably
but-
a mod somewhere that will allow this, all right?
I would
Or
be
the
down
mod
with
of Resident Evil 2 where Big Bird is Mr. X, something like that.
or if the eagle was in fact a mod.
Or if it was in fact 70s rock band The Eagles, and they were the ones helping you accomplish your goal. Whew.
I would have not played this game if that was the case.
Really? I don't know,
Jack,
man.
you know
Glenn
my
Fry
descent,
helping
Hotel
me
California.
get from level to level, that'd be pretty interesting.
Right, we're back round to Mark.
All right, I feel like it's been a while since we've had a controversial take or position or stance here, but I'm going to be the one to do it because I know our hype and I know the discourse we've had for this game in prior categories and no doubt in later categories. But as much as Bear-chan is an adorable little pupper that just kind of pops up out of nowhere and just like, hey, I'm Bear-chan, but just Bear-chan doesn't really do much. Like, I was really when Bear-chan shows up, I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck is this dog? Awesome.
Yeah.
I was really hoping that Bear-chan would have more to do or fucking turn out to be like the actual killer of the syndicate of the council.
Jesus
That would be
Christ,
amazing.
if Bear-chan was the killer, he
Oh,
wins
man.
this category.
If you could have pointed the finger, if you could have like constructed a narrative around him.
I was disappointed that Bear-chan wasn't part of the trial.
I ended up actually being a bit disappointed that Bear-chan wasn't used more often, being perfectly honest. And compared to some of the hype I know we're going to get about the Backpack Cat, certainly against fucking Cerberus, and from what Barry was saying about Camus there, I don't know. I don't think Bear-chan needs to go much further past this.
Man, I guess somebody has to go, and if no one else is backing me on it, then I guess.
Yeah, I don't think
fucking-
Bear-chan hangs, unfortunately.
That's part of what I love about Bear-chan is just again, you could be like, I think I was nearly 2/3 of the way through the game before I encountered Bear-chan, and you're just like walking through this little park, and Bear-chan is there. Firstly, Bear-chan is a Shiba Inu, automatically great.
Not doubting
and
this,
then,
not disputing that. That is a fair point.
And then secondly, the way you characterize the kind of meeting of Bear-chan is what I love about it, where like Bear-chan is just like, sup? What's going on?
I'm just a dog, just
just-
chilling, just talking to people about murder.
Just pimping around in a park. It's the end of paradise. I'm just pimping out in the park by myself. What are you gonna do?
Look,
Do a little side quest. Pop on with your bad self.
If Bear-chan had a cowboy hat or an eye patch, this would be a different story. But I don't know.
Dave's right though. Shiba
I
Inu is
also love
like a top 5 internet dog, so they chose the breed
Yeah.
well.
I also dearly love the implication that this is pretty much the only dog in paradise because it was the best of dogs in this reality.
Oh yeah, I never even thought about why that dog is there. To be
It is the
honest.
goodest possible
Yeah.
boy that Paradise could have produced.
Yeah. And you better believe that Bear-chan will feature in Perfect 25. I'll tell you that much.
Oh no, in Perfect 25, I think
and perhaps
the
the only-
previous winners from our previous years will be on there.
Yeah. And Bear-chan will be their ruler. He will be the council in Perfect 25.
He will definitely be the killer.
Bear-chan, Bear-chan and Yamper just fucking having a grand old
Oh,
time.
mate, like just
And you know, you guys are gonna have egg on your face a couple of years from now when Paradise Killer 2 comes out and it's Lady Love Dies and Bear-chan solving crimes
Hey,
together.
and if that's the case, then that year Bear-chan will go up for nomination, and I will fucking fight for Bear-chan. But until then,
Dave, imagine Bear. This is one for the Marvel nerds. Imagine Bear-chan was like a lockjaw type dog that could like transport people to different parts of the island and shit with its powers.
Better Marvel pull. What if Bear-chan was Uatu the Watcher, and it's just this trans-dimensional being that is there to observe major world
Hey,
events?
Lockjaw is trans-dimensional, man. He can
This is
fucking
true.
warp. But yeah, I love Bear-chan, but Mark is right in the sense that Bear-chan it's understated, and maybe understated never usually wins this category. Like it's usually wacky or like exciting or interesting or just damn adorable, and it is adorable. But the fact that it's just like an average bloke, and instead of an average bloke is a Shiba Inu, I love. But I guess it's probably
and let's be honest, when you think of Paradise Killer, understated isn't a word you would use.
yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, I think of.
I suppose, and again, that's why it kind of works for me.
Yeah,
as well,
no, to
'cause
some
it's
degree,
just
you
like
are
it's the
right,
one
yeah.
character who's not like completely outrageous. It's just like, yeah, what up? I'm a dog. Because I don't need no gimmicks. I don't need to be like a weird red skeleton or a shirtless fuck doctor or anything like that.
Doom Jazz giving his damn respect. But yeah, it's similar to the dog in Little Nicky. You know, like when in a terrible movie probably for some people, but yeah, he just turns up to Earth and he's just a dog who can talk, and he's like, yeah, get over it, mate. That's what I see Bear-chan as.
Yeah. Love Bear-chan. I'm glad I got
Hate
to
bastards.
say my piece. But yeah, I hate you all. Right, we're down to 3. So we've talked about Camus. We'll go to Mark Robinson for the Cerberus update.
Cerberus is a very good boy, a very big bad boy who will not only be happy to take a pet and, you know, act as like a good boy, he'll also stand there between you and Hades and, you know, bite your face off if you try and fuck around with him. So Cerberus is just kind of like, you know, you've got the heavy kind of level of narrative and the kind of big sort of pomp and circumstance of all of these characters. I mean, they're gods, for fuck's sake. And they talk like gods and they act like gods. And there's all this just kind of big, grandiose dialogue. And then there's just like Cerberus, who's just like, the way they do it is you'll get the narrative that says like woof or whatever to imply, hey, I'm a dog. But then you'll have whatever text that comes afterwards that is the kind of narrator talking, if you will, that says like, you know, Cerberus is deeply staring at like a bone or whatever, or just something to kind of like comedic effect that comes afterwards. And they're always just like these just kind of funny little tidbits that happen between like the kind of core gameplay and when you're back in the House of Hades before you start another run. And like the first time, like, so as you play through the game, you know, you'll get a little way in, then you'll die, then you come back, you'll get a little bit further, then you die, and you go on like that. And then there's basically like the last area before Hades, and you'll come up to a crossroads, and to the right of you, you've got a bunch of boons or treasures or pickups that you can pick up. To the left of you, you've got a selection of dungeons that you can go through that are like these kind of self-contained tiny little dungeons that are very compact but very challenging, and depending on like the type of difficulty, the higher the reward, but obviously the risk that you'll die. And then in front of you, you've got Cerberus, and even though you are Zagreus and Cerberus is kind of like your pet, or, you know, definitely the pet of the underworld, Cerberus is very loyal, very obedient, and simply, you know, you will not get past here. So what you have to do is you have to go to the dungeons, and you have to keep going through of the 5 or 6 dungeons till you find basically there's a bag that contains, you know, whatever food that Cerberus would potentially eat, and you have to get that to basically distract Cerberus so you can go past and then through to actually take on Hades. Now, I never actually attempted to go up to Cerberus to see if I could like initiate a fight with him or anything, because it's a giant 3-headed dog, and by that point I'm more than happy to find the shortcut to get past him. But Cerberus is an incredibly good boy who manages to balance that fine line between being adorable and a well-trained house pet and being, you know, a giant fucking dog that will bite your face off. So Cerberus is excellent.
I do really enjoy that. Normally, when Cerberus is depicted in stuff, it's like this big, beastie, snarling, evil hellhound with like drool coming out of it and like red eyes and all of this sort of stuff. But I kind of like the design of Cerberus in Hades. Is that like even though it's red, it looks like a more traditional dog with 3 heads. So it kind of lulls you into a false sense of security when you say Mark, and that it isn't like depicted as like some like evil beast. It's just depicted as a dog that happens to have 3 heads, as the sort of legend goes. But at the same time, if it needs to, can absolutely throw down.
Our other nominee in this category, I think we're going to stick with Jack. You're fighting against tradition here by having our first non-dog finalist in the Backpack Cat, but a strong contender, I am led to believe.
Yeah, so the cool thing about the Backpack Cat, so early in the game, Miles is like tasked with, okay, Peter's off, is to Europe with his missus, and you got to be the one that's kind of looking after the neighborhood. And one of the first sort of side missions that pops up is you go into your local sandwich shop and the cat's missing, and the cat happens to be called Spider-Man, which is cool, named after obviously Peter Parker's Spider-Man, who's been protecting New York up to that point and had been kind of in the first game, and you have to go and rescue him as Miles, and you figure out, okay, it's gone into this power plant, the cat, and you're bobbing and you're weaving your way through. And there's a bunch of villains, and you have to take them out, and you're chasing the cat through, and then this massive like enforcer guy picks up the cat, and you're like, no fucking way, man, I'm not letting this shit happen. He's gonna try and take it. So you fight and you take out him and a bunch of other dudes, and you win the cat back, and you give the cat back to the guy in the shop. And he's just kind of like gone from being very unimpressed, like, oh yeah, whatever, I guess you're the new Spider-Man, to like, oh man, thanks very much. I really appreciate you rescuing the cat. And then by the end of the game, you form such a strong bond with this cat and Harlem, that it's almost as a representation of what Miles comes to meet to the people of Harlem. You can have the cat hang around with you in the costume, which is in the form of a backpack, so you can be swinging through the streets of New York with Spider-Man the cat in your backpack, and he has on a tiny Spider-Man mask, which is just, glorious. So you're just spinning away, and then every now and then he's poking his head out and then having a little look around, or you're in a cutscene and then you just see the cat sort of peeking over your shoulder in the bag, like having a look to see who Miles is talking to and stuff. And it's really, it's hilarious, especially like when you do your New Game Plus and you can have him in there right from the start. But Cat is kind of representative of the trust of the people of Harlem and that they develop in Miles. And when you finish that sort of side quest line, the shop owner among the other shop owners is sort of like contributes to this massive mural of Miles Morales that gets painted on the side of a building, and he lets you befriend and even take out his cat on missions and adventures and stuff. So it's it starts off the game, it's a cold relationship between you and the shop owner and the cat, but after the rescue and the saving everybody, he becomes part of your crew, and it's a really cool moment. And I will never not love flying around New York with a cat in a backpack strapped to my back, watching his little Spider-Man masked head bobbing up and down as I'm flying around. It's awesome.
Right. Okay, so it's time to vote. Mark.
Do you know what? I think in the spirit of the category, this is formerly best dog,
by the way.
Best dog wearing an accessory. I think, and just because obviously to go against tradition in other ways, I think I'm going to go with the Backpack Cat.
Wow.
Okay. Barry.
I'm going to stick with the one I nominated, Camus. I big love to Camus.
I'm going to go Backpack Cat.
Yes. Oh, and I will mention, sometimes when you do the finishing move in Miles Morales, where you get like a double button push, the cat will jump out of the backpack when Miles jumps up in the air and slams the enemy down, and he will perform his own little like paw slam even though he's like nowhere near it, which is just awesome. So yeah.
Well, if I wasn't convinced before, that sealed the deal.
I mean, like, it's done in perfect timing as well, and I didn't catch it the first or second time that I'd done it, but then I clocked it, and I went on YouTube to like see somebody that had got an even better angle of the cat in tandem with you doing the slam down. But yeah, it's backpack cat for me. It put such a smile on my face.
Okay, so our winner for 2020's Goodest Boy is Backpack Cat from Miles Morales.
I couldn't be happier with that. Like, literally, I don't care what wins Game of the Year now. This is...
Jack just hangs
Absolutely. Like, I see you lads later. I've got stuff to do.
I love that the final nominees were one dog with 3 heads, a cat, and a car.
Yeah, it's the weirdest year for the Goodest Boys.
I hope 2021 brings even stranger animals into the fore.
Our tiebreaker poll awards with 41.4% the Goodest Boy to Backpack Cat as well.
Hell yeah.
Second place was Cerberus. Third place was Chomp, and then tied for fourth was Bear Chan and Alice.